blues fans, glad you made it. Time for another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Loco Motives. Their motives are loco, and that's how they got their name. So, with that, let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history. On July 27th in 1958, researchers from the Esso Gas Company warned that tuning into rock and roll music on the car radio could cost you more money. They said the rhythm of rock and roll could cause the driver to be foot heavy on the pedal, making them waste fuel. Personally, I think it was a bunch of overzealous wannabe researchers. On July 27th in 1955, Chuck Berry's debut single, Maybellene, enters the R&B chart. It later becomes a #1 R&B hit, remaining at the top for 11 weeks. Maybellene was adapted in part from a Western swing fiddle tune called Ida Red. The song tells the story of a hot rod race and a broken romance. The song was a major hit with both black and white audiences, reaching #1 on Billboard's Rhythm and Blues chart and #5 on the Hot 100. In 1988, Maybellene was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame for its influence as a rock and roll record. Blues guitar player Mike Bloomfield was born July 28th in 1943. He received his first guitar as a teen, and he and his friends began sneaking out to hear electric blues on the south side of Chicago's fertile blues scene. He spent time at Chicago's Southside Blues Clubs playing guitar with bluesmen like Sleepy John Estes, Yank Ratchell, and Little Brother Montgomery. He solidifies his reputation on the strength of his work with the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. Jimmy Duck Holmes was born on July 28th in 1947. He's known as the last of the Bentonia Bluesmen, and he's the last blues musician to play the Bentonia School. Like Skip James and Jack Owens, and other blues musicians from Bentonia, Mississippi, Holmes learned to play the blues from Henry Stuckey, the originator of the Bentonia blues style. Holmes is also the proprietor of the Blue Front Cafe on the Mississippi Blues Trail, the oldest surviving juke joint in Mississippi. His 2019 recording, Cypress Grove, was nominated for a Grammy. The song Every Day I Have the Blues was recorded July 28, 1935 by Pinetop Sparks with Henry Townsend on guitar. It was first performed in the taverns of St. Louis by brothers Pinetop and Milton Sparks. After a reworking of the song by Memphis Slim in 1949, it became a blues standard with renditions recorded by numerous artists. A version by B.B. King received a Grammy Hall of Fame award and was also inducted into the Blues Foundation Hall of Fame as a classic blues recording. Blues guitar master Buddy Guy was born on July 30th, 1936. Buddy Guy is one of the most celebrated blues guitar players of his generation, possessing a sound and style that embodies the traditions of classic Chicago blues while also embracing the fire and flash of rock and roll. Guy began his recording career in 1959 and scored his first hit in 1960 with First Time I Met the Blues. Guy received the National Medal of the Arts in 2003 and was awarded Kennedy Center Honors in 2012. Now in 2005, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, with both Eric Clapton and B.B. King presenting him with his award. Electric blues musician Big Jack Johnson was born July 30th, 1939 in Lambert, Mississippi. The ex-oil truck driver was one of the present-day players of an edgier, electrified version of the raw, uncut Delta blues sound. He was also one of a number of blues musicians who played the mandolin. He won a W.C. Handy Award in 2003 for Best Acoustic Blues Album. Johnson was posthumously honored with a plaque on the Clarksdale, Mississippi's Walk of Fame in August 2011 and has a marker on the Mississippi Blues Trail. Blues bass player Ernest "Big" Crawford was born July 31st back in 1897. He was the premier blues bassist of his generation and played with Muddy Waters, Sunnyland Slim, Little Walter, Memphis Minnie, Jimmy Rogers, Big Maceo, Big Bill Brunzi, Washboard Sam, Memphis Slim, Mahalia Jackson. Now that's an impressive resume. Unfortunately, there isn't much more information about this prolific performer, but he deserves recognition. Blues guitar player Robert Cray was born August 1st in 1953. He's one of the most commercially and critically successful blues artists of his generation. He took his music to the upper reaches of the pop and rock charts. In 2011, Cray was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame and received the American Music Lifetime Achievement Award for performance in 2017. Texas blues singer and piano player Big Walter Price was born August 2nd back in 1917. Born near Gonzales, Texas, and later moved to San Antonio, where he released his first song called "Calling Margie" in 1955. In the 1960s, he signed with Peacock Records and released several of his singles there. His song, "Pack Fair and Square," was actually covered by the Jay Giles Band. He died in 2012 at the age of 94, although he claimed he was 97. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or all the other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. Now, we'll have a brand new episode next week, so we'll see you then.